Yeah, excited to be back home this weekend. I know we have a few fans here as well, and another big series for us. Illinois State's a team that I think's been playing much better here of late, and had a really good home win against Bradley, and then a couple of tough losses after that. But it should be another great series, another great weekend of Valley basketball.
Questions for Darren?
Hey, Darian, what did your guys show you in those two wins on the road, especially coming off of COVID? What did they kind of show you?
Yeah, I thought their togetherness really showed up this week, and in both games it was just almost the exact opposite on how the script was played out. The first game we're down big in the second half, and we're able to come back and win. And in the second game, built a 13-point lead in the second half with them coming back and taking a lead, but we were still able to find a way to finish off the game and get a W. So I thought the way they were able to stick together in both scenarios was really impressive, and as a sign of what we got in the locker room from a leadership standpoint.
Hey, Darian, it's Mark. Sorry, John. This is the time of year where on SportsCenter every night they start to show the graphics of last remaining unbeaten teams. There's only 3 or 4 teams left. How cool is that for you and for this team to kind of be featured more on a national stage and maybe getting some of that recognition that maybe you felt you guys might have deserved all along, I guess?
No, I think we're all just taking it in stride. What comes our way is great, and the guys are enjoying it, and they're using it in the right way. They're using it to motivate them to want to continue it to go. They want that logo to be covering the whole United States if they can. So it's something that we've embraced as part of what continues to give us extra focus, I guess, and that attention's been good for obviously our program and our players and the university and the city of Des Moines for that matter.
Derek, Eric Olson over in Omaha, DEP. Max sends his regards. What distinguishes this team compared to maybe some of the teams you've been around over the years?
Yeah, I think this team is really together. When you think about some of the teams that I've been fortunate to be a part of as a coach, those teams that are really connected and unselfish and really focused on the task or the goal in hand, I think have done really well. And I feel like this group has that mindset, and they've done a really good job with it. From the guys that are playing 38 minutes to the guys that don't get in as much, we have a really connected locker room, and I think a lot of that comes from the summer and fall. They've spent a lot of time together, so you can see that bond's really grown. Because their outside circles have been cut down dramatically to just our team and our coaches.
Did you have any inkling that this could be a pretty special team when you were coming into the year?
It was hard to tell. We felt strongly about the guys we had coming back. Adding Trammell back from his injury last year, adding Darnell Brody, adding Shaquan Hempfeld. Joe Yesufu didn't get to play a lot of that second semester, so there were still some unknowns with the new pieces. But I thought the chemistry was really good, and you had all the right parts of guys returning. That if we could get some production out of a couple of holes we had, that we did have a chance to be pretty solid.
Start and also dealing with playing during a pandemic. I mean, does age, how much does that benefit a group when you're kind of under the circumstances you're in right now?
Well, I think it's a tremendous benefit. I think our age has really helped us with a lot of things, as you mentioned, off the floor, dealing with protocols and things like that. Guys are able to adjust a little quicker than you would maybe if you're younger. Sometimes lack of practice, coming off a 3-week layoff, having veteran guys that, they can make those adjustments pretty quickly, that you don't have to retrain them, and they didn't forget everything they learned. They played a lot of college basketball already. So I think that's been a really good benefit for us as, with all the different circumstances that have been thrown our way this year.
When you lose 5 games in a row to COVID like you did, I mean, does that have the potential to really mess up a season for, when you do come back?
Yeah, I think it certainly could. There's a lot of things that go into that. You know, your conditioning, your timing. You know, just your overall, just your flow. You know, just regaining that back. You just never know how that plays out. So none of us have been through it before. You know, I mean, you know, across the country. You know, there's been all sorts of teams that have had layoffs, and you know, there's no real book on, you know, what do you do? How do you get your team back during that time? So I think the fact that we have an older group, I think that the fact we have great chemistry has allowed us to get through it, at least here initially, and hopefully we can continue to, you know, find that stride back as we move forward here.
Hey, Darian, what was the recruiting process like for Roman Penn? When did you guys identify him as somebody you wanted, and then what was the process like to get him to Des Moines?
I don't remember the exact you know, timing of it all. I know after his coach was let go that you know, he had entered the transfer portal, and it wasn't long after that we had reached out to him. You know, we were able to start that communication process, and you know, for him, obviously he knew some people, you know, some of our players here, so there was some relationships there that you know, was appealing to him, and I think he felt like our style of play and you know, would really fit him, and I think it was just a natural fit for him.
What stood out about him then? Why did you guys want to add him?
Yeah, when I watched him on film, I just really liked the way he ran a team. I thought he did a really good job of his pace and command of the ball. You know, he's not like jet fast, but he's so subtle in how he starts and stops and is able to create for himself and others. And that unselfishness, you know, showed through even on film. So that was, you know, something I thought was really important for how we like to play, and thought he could be, you know, again, a nice fit for us and the guys we already had on the roster.
You spoke pretty openly this preseason and at media day about the expectations you had for him. You know, you were going to ask a lot of him this year, and he's, I mean, taking it and running. He was on the watch list recently for best point guard in the country. I mean, just what can you say about what he has done and shown you with such high expectations this season?
Yeah, what I love about Roman is Roman takes on every challenge, and so you know, when we challenged him to do that and be more aggressive and become a more complete player, you know, he took that to heart, and he really put in a lot of time to try to do those things because he really felt it could help him and it could help the team, and you know, the results are speaking for themselves. He's having an unbelievable year for us, and he just, you know, in addition to all that, he's just tough. He's a winner. He's a leader, you know, and those are all the things, you know, outside the box scores that you know, show up in our locker room and as a coaching staff with him as well.
How much does it matter to you as a head coach to have such trust in your point guard, the level of trust that you have in Roman?
Well, I think it's huge because they're playing the game. You know, they're out there doing it, and he's the one that's got to start everything and has the ball in his hands, and that's the way we want it. We want our guys, you know, trusting their instincts, playing fast, being aggressive. You know, so having a guy like that out on the floor is exactly what you want to have your team, you know, play at the highest level.
Hey, Coach, I'm with the Fort Myers News Press down in Florida. I'm doing a story about the three guys from Florida Southwestern State you got on the team. How much, you said a lot about your team's togetherness. I mean, how much does have the three guys that played together, you know, in college before, especially when you add a new guy like Shaquan this year, just how much does that pre-existing chemistry help?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, you can tell in everything they do, you know, when they're interacting off the floor, when they're interacting, you know, before practice, during games, they just have a natural feel for each other. They understand each other's games. They understand each other's personalities. They know how to talk to each other, you know, when to, you know, push each other and challenge each other, and when you know, they need to put their arm around each other. So I think that's you know, a big part of where that, you know, chemistry comes from. And then the rest of the groups, you know, right in that same boat. They just haven't all known each other quite as long, but that's a big part of it. You know, those guys being able to play together, you know, those first couple years down in junior college.
Hey, Darren, you know, this ground has probably been plowed a little bit, but I wanted to ask you, you know, you were involved with trying to get the Drake job a couple times before you actually were hired. Beyond your strong ties to that area, I mean, it sounded like you've wanted to be the coach at Drake, and I mean, why was Drake the place for you?
Well, I think Drake, I was at Creighton for 20 years, and I, love Omaha. I loved the university there and all the people there. And I just felt like, being from Iowa, growing up an hour and a half from here, have so many friends and family from the area. I know the people here, understand, private school and what that entails, and then the city of Des Moines. I just felt there was a lot of similarities there. And, for me, leaving a place that you really love, to come to a place that you already have so many close ties with and have a pretty good vision of what that could look like down the road, made a lot of sense to me, and was something that if the opportunity came along, I would be excited to try to be a part of.
Given where you've come in two plus, almost 3 seasons now, given that your roster was pretty much depleted when you arrived, has this all happened faster than you would have ever thought?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, it's still all about the process, and we had talked about wins and losses that they'll come when they come. It's just making sure you get the process right, get the right personnel, your staff, and all those things, get all the right people in place to make it go. And we were fortunate, we were able to get a roster put together fairly quickly that was older, as we already mentioned, and we were able to get kind of off to a good start, and they got that culture piece started, and then everybody else that we recruited these last couple of years have fit right in with that, and so those successes have come, maybe faster than you would have anticipated, but I think it had a lot to do with the players that we had for sure.
Has that been a good thing to kind of have some older guys when maybe there's a little bit of hoopla surrounding the team?
Yeah, having an older group like we got is really good. I think we got about a lot of 23-year-olds, 22-year-olds. So it just gives us that experience, and then we got some young guys that we're able to help them get through the process of making that transition from high school to college. And I think we have a great mixture of both age groups right now, and it's really I think working to our strength, because we're showing a lot of maturity, and it's just helping us right now.
Is there much talk about it? Do you guys try to keep it kind of, subdued, or is it being celebrated?
As far as like our age group, like our age, like how old we are.
No, yeah, the fact that you guys are unbeaten.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's definitely got to celebrate it, but you also got to remain focused. But we're gonna enjoy the process. It's 15. You don't get to do that every year. So we're gonna enjoy it. But we're also focused because we have a bigger goal in mind, and we're just still taking it game by game. We're about to play in a couple of days against Illinois State, a team that's very good and hungry, and they're young. So they're gonna give us their all, and then we just got to be ready to play.
Hey, Roman, as the days and the weeks go on, how much do you guys keep building that confidence and maybe seeing the potential of this team come out even more?
We just gotta remain focused on the little things. I think when you start to win a little bit more, you start to forget the little things that got you to where you're at before. And I think that's something we gotta make sure we're focused on. I felt like we played good against Missouri State. I felt like we could have played a lot better. Obviously, COVID kind of gave us a 3-week layoff, but I still feel like we kind of got away from some of the things that we're really good at, and I think we have to focus in on that again. But that's how the Valley is this year. It's gonna be up and down. But I'm excited to see the next couple of weeks. I'm excited to see how we handle things.
I want to ask you a little bit. Eric touched on it. You're 15-0. You're starting to pop up on kind of these a little more national boards with people talking about it. Give Drake some respect. Do you guys like seeing your name pop up on these things about these net rankings, and all of a sudden you guys are one of the last undefeated teams?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You go on social media and you see all the big teams that usually are right there every year, and then you're seeing Drake and you're like, wow, I'm on that team. It's something you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. That's how I look at it, and that's how a lot of us look at it. We're just enjoying it, having fun with it. It's really good for the city to just get the recognition, the school. And then, you see all the memes about Drake the rapper, and then you see Drake trending, and people think Drake the rapper is about to make some music. I saw something like that on Twitter, so I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, we're just enjoying it, and we, hopefully we can keep building on from last week.
Hey Roman,
One more thing.
just to build off what John was kind of saying, when your star is rising like that, and you mentioned that you try to stay grounded, but how difficult has that been? Again, just with all the hype around you guys right now, has that been a little more challenging than maybe it would normally be?
I don't think it's been more challenging. Kind of going back to the older group we have, I feel like we know what we're accomplishing, but at the same time, we know this doesn't mean nothing because at the end of the day, it's all about that tournament. And, we want to be playing our best by the time we get to the tournament. You can win as many games as you want, but, we have a big goal in mind, and we're just going to take it game by game. But I think being mature, it kind of helps us stay focused, and having great coaching staffs, having us making sure that, not changing nothing, watching film after every game, and, not trying to skip over the little things. I mean, we still do driving kicks each practice. I think that's a little thing that that helps us, playing off of 2 feet. Just doing all the little things. I think that, will help us in the long run.
Could you tell coming into the season that this might be a pretty special group?
Yeah, I knew we could accomplish a lot of things. I can't say it was going to go 15-0 because you just never know with, the Valley season. And I honestly didn't know how the season was going to go with COVID. So, I mean, making it this far and being able to play 15 games is just an accomplishment at that. Just showing, how we're able to just follow the guidelines and how a lot of people were helping us making sure we're following the guidelines. So, I mean, accomplishing 15-0, I can't say that I saw it coming, but, I mean, we're enjoying it, so hopefully we keep it rolling.
Hey Roman, one more thing about yourself. How do you I feel like you've taken your game to the next level. How do you describe yourself on the floor? I mean, you're the floor general. You can score when you need to, but how do you kind of describe your overall game?
I think I'm just a lot more confident this year. My decisions I'm not second guessing myself as much. I mean, at all this year. I'm really confident in my game. The coaches give me tons of confidence. They let me play, and then I'm just trying to be a better leader. I think that's I had a focus in from last year. I didn't think I was a good enough leader, and I don't think I was confident enough when I needed to be. And now I see that me being confident and me being a better leader kind of just brings out more for the team. And I think I just know what I need to do. And my teammates gave me the utmost confidence, my coaches, and now I'm just just having fun out there. Not thinking too much. I'm just playing, and I think that's kind of been the biggest key for me this year.
Anything else for Roman?
I got one time. Roman, with coming back home this weekend, it is a lot of momentum. Now 2 home games, Sunday and Monday, expanded crowd. I mean, just how much are you looking forward to kind of showing off in front of your home fans?
Yeah, I mean, not having the crowd, during the season that we're having, it kind of sucks because we know the energy they'll give us, and how much we love playing in front of the fans. So hopefully, we can get a good turnout coming up to this weekend. It's gonna be a big game. Illinois State is a great team, back to back. So I'm just happy to be playing again. I'm happy to be playing at the NAP. Hopefully, keep it rolling.